Welcome back to the channel, guys. Today we are getting back into the wagon, and what we're actually planning to do today is put this on an aftermarket ECU. One that actually fits in my pocket, believe it or not. This little guy. This is a Link Atom. It has just the right amount of inputs and outputs and everything that we need to make this thing a full-fledged race car. Actually, you could use these on a lot of other cars as well, to be honest. These are super budget friendly. I think you can get one of these with everything you need for like 800 bucks, which is great. It means we're under budget for this whole thing with all the mods, wheels, everything that we've done to this car. It's under 2 grand, which is freaking perfect. So that aside, let's get straight into this, and I'm gonna show you how we're gonna make everything in the factory OEM wiring loom plug into this one little plug here, and us be able to not only still keep all the functionality of what's in the car currently, but also be able to turn things up. What we've got over here is the factory stock ECU right here, easy accessible, and this is the OEM loom. We're gonna be splicing into this, taking over some of these wires and putting them into the new Link Atom. There's a lot of sensors on here that we can actually reuse, but there's also some sensors that we can't reuse, like the map sensor, the IAT sensor, and then I think that might actually be about it. We're gonna add like oil pressure and temp sensors and a few other little fancy sensors so we know what's going on, like, you know, wideband sensor and stuff like that for tuning. But the main reason why we gotta change our map sensor and IAT sensor is, first of all, we need a map sensor that can actually handle boost. The map sensor in here is not gonna take anything more than like what an NA engine can do. So we've got one of these. This is crazy overkill because this is a 4-bar map sensor, but rather be overkill than not at all. And then the IAT sensor, this is just a super weird OEM one that usually just gets pushed into like a rubber grommet on the intake. And we can't do that because that's lame. So we're gonna actually get like a 1/8 MPT threaded one. I got one out the back. We'll thread that into the intake manifold somewhere or into the intake pipe or whatever. And that way we'll have good IAT measurements as well. Otherwise though, we want to still kind of retain the factory ECU here. The main reason for that is we want everything to still work on the dash, like, you know, your RPM, speedo, and all that other type of stuff. So we're gonna let this kind of control all of that stuff, and we're gonna take over the functionality of engine control itself. We're still gonna be giving some of the sensor data to the OEM ECU so that it still knows, you know, like the engine's running and stuff, so it'll get a crank signal and stuff like that, so we can get RPMs and whatnot on our dash. But otherwise, that's it. If I really wanted to, I could completely delete that and make this a full-fledged race car, but that'll be something in the future. For now, I just want to learn how to do this and make everything still kind of function as a street car. Because this does have shotgun on it. This is a street registered car, and I want to keep that functionality so we can drive to the track and have a bit of fun with it and drive home, right? So, let's get started. It is so good to have good floors in your shop or garage. Just being able to do stuff on the floor and not get dirty is a lifesaver, but obviously, you know, benches and things like that do exist. But I've got a spare wiring loom here. This came on the spare engine that we got. It's from an automatic harness, but all of the terminals are the same, by just 2 extra plugs for the automatic transmission, and that's it. Everything color-wise and everything is the same. So what we're able to do is I've gone and correlated everything on the engine to everything on this. I've then gone and labeled everything so that I know what sensors we need to tap into and put into the Link Atom. So what I'm gonna do is now backtrack all of that with a continuity tester. I tried looking for a wiring diagram of this car. It's nothing that I can get my hands on publicly. I'm sure if I went to like a Suzuki dealership and paid some money or knew someone that worked at one, we'd be able to get some kind of thing from them. But this is also just quick, dirty, and easy to do by literally just figuring out what plug goes where, label it, and then backtrack it with a continuity test on a multimeter, which is exactly what we're gonna be doing. And then from there, I'm gonna write down on my notepad which each sensor goes to what colored wire, and then from there, we then know what we need to snip and splice into to then go into this plug, which goes into the Link Atom. And we're gonna obviously be pinning it. You can get an entirely like special like harness, like unterminated harness for this, and then run everything to all the individual plugs and stuff like that. But this is just so much easier when you just gotta plug in pins to terminate to. So we're gonna do that. And the Atom is just so easy to wire. Once you give it a ground and just a power rail for, you know, your 12 volt, 14 volt power rail, it's then just triggers. You need your temp sensors, you need obviously your injectors, your coil packs, a few other things for like TPS and all that other stuff, and it's pretty much done. The diagram here is super helpful, comes with all the info that you need to know, but still, if you're not comfortable with wiring, take it to a professional. But I'm definitely no professional, and if I can do it, so can you. So we'll find out later in this video if I can even do it. But anyways, let's get started. Oh.
Dr. Sam.
I forgot to say, if you don't know what a continuity test is, it's essentially this. When you touch the two things together, it beeps. So what we can do is plug this in one end at one plug and then go through and check every single wire in here until we find that beep. And then we know that that's the wire that belongs to that plug. And yeah, from there, it's pretty straightforward. Let's do it.
We just had a really unknown package just sent to us, and but it's named
from Ubiquity. Ubiquity. I have a feeling I know what this is. Jake was very, very strong about how he didn't like my Netgear wireless mesh system at the shop.
This Wi-Fi is gonna reach till the station over there, Sam.
There's a switch.
A switch?
What is going on?
Oh
no! What is happening?
Okay, explain to people what Ubiquity is.
Ubiquity does networking. They're probably actually one of the best networking companies ever. So this is, I guess, going to replace our entire network here.
And you got to do more networking work at the.
Go to lttstore.com, guys. This is actually kind of insane. They include a ton of little, oh my god, they're mini patch cables, mate.
Oh.
Yeah, that's going in the corner for another day. I have no idea what they sent me.
SAMMIT raw video, probably.
Yeah, this will be a SAMMIT raw video. For sure. We're actually thinking about doing a bit more tech stuff, because that's more of my hobby now. That used to be my full-time job. So, yeah. We'll probably do a little bit more tech type of stuff on the SAMMIT Raw channel moving forward. There'll be some cool computer build stuff there too. But yeah, I'm pretty stoked on that. That's actually going to be awesome. But that's also a whole weekend's worth of work for me.
So how does it feel to be poking a lot of holes? What?
My wife.
So is this what wiring specialties people do? Maybe half of the day?
They have everything already figured out, and they just build something according to a diagram.
I see.
This is reverse engineering from scratch.
I see.
We have finished conducting our nice list here of everything, where it goes, where it is on the plug, what color the wires are, and everything like that. A few things that I have to research a little bit more on are just the IAT sensor. There's 7 or 8 wires going to that. I need to work out what does what and what we can control. Ultimately, I might be able to let the stock ECU look after idling, but we will see. That aside though, I also need to look at the TPS and the map sensor and work out which one's the 5-volt rail, 12-volt rail, and all that other stuff as well. There's just 3 wires going to each, and they all go to the ECU, so I have to just back probe those when the engine's running on the car. Otherwise though, I'm also a bit concerned about what's triggering the fans. Is there just a sensor in this? Does the ECU do that? So I need to also research that once we get it kind of going. But probably the stock ECU could manage that as well, but I want the Link ECU to be able to trigger that, just because then we can get it to turn on earlier and maybe even upgrade some things there. Otherwise though, it was very straightforward. Yeah, your list.
I understood.
Yeah, even May was actually having a good time. So what I'm doing is kind of making a little bit of a piggyback harness here. I've already got my ground pin and wire in the plug, and now I'm going to start going through and kind of just tapping into the harness. It's been a while, but I think we've got all the wiring done. We've got the ECU powered up, plugged in. We're looking good. I've set a whole bunch of sensors and stuff up. I'm just trying to figure out now timing and then maybe first start, question mark? Which would be crazy. Everything seems to be working as it should. I've just got the stock map sensor in there and stuff like that for now for first start, but we will change over to the Link IAT and map sensor later on. But I just want to see if this thing will run. Try again. All right, let me do a trigger scope on this. Try again.
The next day.
It's a fair few days later now, and I gotta be honest with you, this thing has me a little bit defeated right now. I was hoping that this thing was gonna be ripping, we're gonna be doing a street tune and all this kind of other stuff. First start would have been great, but we didn't even get there. You can probably tell I was really stumped. After a bunch of research, talking to the guys over at Link and stuff, we made a very bad, not a bad, but just like a discovery that I didn't know, they didn't know, and no one really knew. But at some point, Suzuki changed the trigger system on these engines, the ones that had VVT on them, and it's like from 2015, 2016 and up roughly. The cam is no problem, right? The cam has two kind of pins with these other single ones, right? So it's 2, 1, 1, right? And that lets the ECU know where the cam is in relation to the crank for the VVT, which is similar to kind of like what's on the 2J or 1J, right? Now, this is the problem. The trigger wheel that's part of the crank sensor or trigger is really unique. It doesn't just have 36 missing 2 little, teeth here. For some reason, they added more missing teeth sections in here and here. This is not being, I guess, like it's not something that I can user define and set within the Link ECU. And to add this to the Link ECU means that the engineers have to decode it and add it to the software, firmware updates, and all that other type of stuff. This hasn't been done before. It's very odd, very bizarre. I don't know why they did this when the cam with those, other teeth tells it where it is. So I'm sure there's some reason why they did it, but I don't know. If you guys know in the comment section, let me know, but I don't know. So anyways, we're kind of stuck right now because this system just doesn't exist, and the engineers at Link are gonna have to either come up with something, or I change this trigger wheel to a 36-2. I asked them, I said, could I just like weld a little tab on here and then file it down and measure it and make sure it would be good. But they have to be so perfect that it's very difficult to pull that off. So it's better that they put it in the software and we wait for that, which could be a 2-week delay or so, or I just get another wheel and try to center it and weld it on there. But yeah, that's kind of where we're at with that. So yeah, also I realized that the Link Atom, I forgot to check if it supports VVT. It doesn't. I have to get the Monsoon the next level up, so it's an extra like $200 for that ECU. So that kind of also sucks. So I gotta now, luckily the plug's the same though, so we'll be able to just switch it out. So everything's kind of my fault here. I should have done a lot more research, but I've learned something new, and I've learned a lot about triggers that I never knew before, so that's a plus. And I'm just being optimistic here. But Wagon-ya, are we really gonna call it the Wagon-ya, guys? It's gonna be ready hopefully within the next 2 weeks. I'm just really frustrated because it's like the one car I was like, yeah, we'll just wire her up and send it and go. And this is the first time I've also wired in an ECU from scratch like this, so it kind of also was, yeah. Am I wearing a shirt that's not released yet that we're not supposed to be showing people? Anyways, things are a little hectic right now. I think I'm gonna leave the country. There's a whole typhoon rolling in and a bunch of other stuff. Fuel Fest kind of just got canceled for me. It's been a whole day thing. Yeah. So we can't start this thing. That's the end of the thing. Do your research first. Don't be like me. That's what I'm gonna say. So that's where we're leaving it. I'm kind of just dragging this out right now because I have a plane to catch in 2 hours. I'll see you guys in Australia. In other news, we just finished doing a ton of work on Daikie's car, and you might notice there's an intercooler down here in the front now. We were having a lot of temperature issues and high IATs, as well as just being able to keep his radiator and coolant cool enough. And after a bunch of research and a ton of feedback from just a lot of people over here, they said, just go back to this intercooler setup because everything was so crammed together, all the heat soaking issues and stuff like that. So we went back to an intercooler on the front like this, not in there. And kind of just went with the same Blitz kit that we go on with all my other S15s. And we had to modify the piping a bit to kind of suit everything. My welds are doing pretty good these days. Not too bad. Still a lot of room for improvement, but I'm pretty stoked on everything's how it's all come out. So things should be much nicer now. Daikie, you're missing an oil cap. Yeah, the oil cap's up there, I guess.
I was checking.
You were checking? Okay, good. I was like, hang on a moment. Anyway, so yeah, Daikie's car's all good now. He's got lights next weekend, right?
Yes, me at Mayhan.
At Mayhan? Yeah. Ooh, so no more rear end. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye rear end. Are you gonna put a big wing on so you can smack the wall with it? He's got this big wing and he calls it his Mayhan wing, and he just puts this huge like GT wing on so it just looks sick going along the side. Oh, these are my tail lights though, bro.
Yeah, I think.
Have fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you didn't know, that's how you use the Ashio factory oil cap. It's meant for a screwdriver to go in so you can get it nice and tight like that. And then when you want to loosen it, very easy too. Bogren 32 is still where it's at. The 25 for it is over here. It looks super sexy. Waiting for an intake manifold for it, actually. I think you guys are gonna be really excited about some parts coming for this thing and working with the new company. So I'm super stoked on that. But yeah, I'm still looking for a chassis to put the 20E in though. So you guys will have to find out about that later. Otherwise, comp car's good. Street car, we're waiting for a transmission, and then I can finish that and send that off, that SR1. And the 33.4 is still doing 33.4 things. I take it out on the weekends. I have fun with it. We haven't gotten in trouble with it yet. That's the main thing. Sorry that this has kind of turned into a little bit of an update video. All my plans and everything just completely fell apart, and I can't control the typhoon, which is a hurricane that spins the other direction, I believe. They say it's like the equivalent of a Category 5, and it's the biggest ever recorded to hit the land of Japan, supposedly. So things are a little hectic, and everything's getting canceled left, right, and center here. So, yep, that's where we're at. And that's why I'm jumping on a plane. Thanks for watching today's video, guys. Thanks for watching today's video. Like, comment, share, and subscribe. Go grab yourself some merch on SAMMIT.net. We've got some really cool stuff going. I think also the pink masks are coming. Keep an eye out for that. There's a ton of new keychains, a bunch of other new stuff coming. I'm really excited about. Chichan's been killing it, and I will see you all in the next one. Maybe you saw some other stuff in the background too, but I don't know. There's a lot of things right now that I just don't have time for, and I'm ranting on because we got to hit that like 20-minute mark, don't we? I don't know. Anyways, can we just sit here and just like say nothing for the next few? Okay, I had to stop myself, but thanks for watching. Like, comment, share, subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one. Peace.
He said, son, when you grow up, would you be the savior of the broken, the beaten, and the damned? He said,